You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today, man, we have another show lined up for y'all. We're going to talk to Gall. He is a music artist. We're going to learn a little bit about him. I mean, born in Germany, but he moved to a small town, Pennsylvania, and he's currently new to Tennessee. So we're going to learn all about his new projects. But before we do that, man, I want to welcome him to the show and say how you doing, man.
Good. How's it going, Shemai?
Man, all is good, man. So before we start talking about your recent music, tell the audience a little bit about your background, man.
I moved to Pennsylvania when I was like 2 years old, so I don't really remember anything about Europe. But I grew up in a small town, not a lot to do. Started playing music whenever I was like 12, 13 years old. My dad always played guitar, so him and his friends would always be jamming around the house and stuff. And, you know, I just kind of took an interest to it young and started playing. You know, the fact that I played music, I just kind of surrounded myself with other people who played music. And by the time I was out of high school, I was in a band. We were playing a lot and did that for probably about 10 years before I moved down here to Tennessee.
And your dad, he had an acoustic guitar himself. Did he introduce you to music, or how did that work? Did he show you how to play guitar?
Yeah. I mean, I remember even before I started playing, really, whenever I was real young, him just putting the guitar in my hand and showing me different chords and stuff. So I had like a basic knowledge of chords before I really started playing.
And with that, what kind of music were you exposed to when you first, heard music? I mean, was it a certain style that your dad played or listened to?
Yeah, I guess listening to what they listened to growing up. My dad was really big into Neil Young, Paul Simon, John Prine, stuff like that. My mom listened to a lot of Pearl Jam. They were all over the place with their music, but you know, when you're a kid and you don't really want to listen to what your parents are listening to. So I went through all my own phases and stuff. And, you know, I was really into hip hop as a kid. And then I just kind of ventured back into more acoustic music. But I really like all music. I mean, I think a good song is a good song, no matter what genre you're in.
And during high school, you actually formed a band. Tell us a little bit about that, and what was the name of the band?
The name of the band was Coastal Remedy. So it was probably right after I graduated that we got serious about it. Some kids who were a couple of years younger than me, they were in jazz band, and they came over to really just have fun, play some music. And, we had so much fun with it that we just kept getting together and started playing some gigs out at bars, just like your typical 3-4 hour cover sets of playing a bunch of different music. And as we were doing that, we were just writing songs while we were hanging out and kind of started to integrate more original music into our sets. And then we recorded an album and funded it ourselves. And after that, we got some funding for a second album, got back in the studio and recorded a second album. And then we tried to promote it for a while, but we had our ups and downs as a band, and eventually it fizzled out, but it was a lot of fun. We definitely had a good time.
Now, during high school, were y'all part of like school band, or was this just something separated from school where you did all on your own?
The other guys were. I was never in band in school, but I was more of just a self-taught sort of singer-songwriter. But once I started playing with them, man, I learned, so much more about music theory and all that stuff from them. So, I mean, definitely have them to thank for helping become the musician I am now.
And later in life, you end up meeting with another musician, a drummer, and that he was based in Nashville, Tennessee. What was that process like? How did y'all reconnect?
Oh, actually, no, that was we grew up in the same town. He just moved down here before I did. So he played in
Okay.
for the later half of our years as a band. He joined the band. We played together for about 5 years. And then he moved down here right at the start of COVID, right when everything shut down. He had an opportunity. A room had opened up down here. Somebody needed a roommate. So he knew that he wanted to do music, and this was the place to be for him. So he came down here. And whenever he got down here, he was just, we would talk all the time, and he would tell me how good of a place this would be for me. So I was serving at a restaurant. I was in and out of work with all the shutdowns, and I just figured I'd come down. So I made the move.
And what was that like? I mean, I'm sure it was a new chapter and, unfamiliar territory. Were you ever in Nashville before, prior? Or was this the first time?
Well, this is sort of the first time. I came down to visit one time before, just for a weekend. And then after I had already made the decision to move down, I came down and stayed with my friend Dylan for 2 weeks and just crashed on his couch. And during the 2 weeks that I was visiting, we went out. I met all the people that he had met since living here, and they got me on some writers rounds, and I got to play a little bit while I was visiting, and made some connections. So really, I was setting stuff up before I even moved down here. So by the time I moved down, I had, different things scheduled for the first month to get out and play and meet people.
Once again, talking to Max Gall. And once you got to Tennessee, you say you were having a plan before you made that jump. What was it like when you first got there? Did everything kind of follow with your plan that you had before, or did things kind of change a little bit and you had to make an adaptation? What was it like?
I mean, I didn't really have a plan. I just knew I wanted to play more music. I had songs written. I was just kind of taking things day by day. When I first got down here, things still weren't fully opened up yet. So I was just getting out every opportunity I had to play the songs that I had. At mostly what I do is writers rounds. I'm starting to get more actual shows. But yeah, man, I was just taking things day by day. It's cool down here because it seems like every time you go out to what a writer's round is they just every hour they throw 3 or 4 writers up on stage, and you just go down the line and play your songs. And then after the round, you connect with these other writers, and they introduce you to different connections that they have, and get you on other songwriter rounds at different venues. So it's just it's very collaborative down here. People definitely help people out because everybody's kind of in the same boat. So I mean, I couldn't really say I had a plan coming down here, but I was,
It had to be with music.
Yeah. I was beyond happy with the move down here and how it was going just right off the get-go. So
And you as an independent artist, you do have a new song that we would talk about, right? Where We Need to Be. It's the name of the song. What was it like in the beginning? How did you make connections, and how were you able to put this project together as far as just being new in Tennessee? Because you recorded this in Tennessee, right?
I actually am going to record a new version of it. I'm going into the studio in about a week from today. And I just play it. I changed a couple things about how I play it. So I'm going to get back in and cut it. It's just acoustic vocals. I'm going to do it live. And but the version that I had that I was going to put out, I recorded with my friend back in Pennsylvania whenever I was actually just home visiting. So he put it together for me. And he got some videos. So I'll still put out the video from that session. but I'm going to get an updated version laid down. So I will be recording it here soon.
And since you're going to record in Tennessee, did your friend that it was already there, did he have connections lined up for you to meet certain people and go to certain studios, or was that something you had to do yourself?
Actually, I had a company reach out to me, B Squared, and
Nice.
and they connected me with you, but they've been connecting me with different producers and stuff. And I went to meet with one guy, and I just liked the vibe, and he was real straightforward with things. I was thinking about spending a lot of money on getting like a fully produced version. And, he was kind of like, well, why spend all that money right now when you could just do the acoustic vocals and, put that out there, keep going out, making more connections, getting more followers, and, spend the money when the time is right. So, and plus this guy's got great sound, all his recordings. He's been doing it for, over 10 years now in the area. So, I'm just going to go in and trust him to capture the sound.
And let's touch on that, because you said in the booking process that you had to refocus on your music. Explain how you had to do that, yourself. What was that reason to, I guess, maybe not reinvent yourself, but just to, I guess, upgrade, your next
Yes.
stage in your music career?
So I would say, like I was saying with the band, we had our ups and downs in terms of, we were playing a lot at times, and then different guys in the band would be busy with different things like school and whatnot. And, so we wouldn't be playing as much. So I knew I always wanted to do music. So if I was going to do it, I knew I kind of had to, take the reins and do my own thing with it. Before I really decided to go for music, I got a job offer. I moved out to central Pennsylvania in State College, and I was running a little store down there for like a year and a half. Really started to get away from music. I mean, I still played just for fun at home, and I was still writing and everything. But I think that time in State College, just there, I started to miss it more and more. So I put like a 6-month notice in with my boss, and he found some new management for the store, and I ended up moving back to Pittsburgh. We got together with the band. My bandmates were living in Pittsburgh, and we just started playing. And as things started to pick up there, we had switched over to the Max Gall thing, and we were doing a trio. And that's when COVID happened. Everything shut down. And I moved down here after that. So, I mean, I guess the refocusing, that year and a half in State College was kind of the refocusing for me, of just the realization that, I wasn't ready to step away from music.
And with the event that we all are familiar with that disrupted everyone's life, everyone's normal process and routine, were you at all worried about music personally, or were you just like, nah, I'm gonna keep it moving, I just gotta make a different move?
Yeah, so I mean, my income wasn't through music, so I mean, I guess I wasn't worried like most musicians were probably worried, like they were all out of work.
Mm-hmm.
I was still, I was serving at a restaurant. I still work at a restaurant right now. I'm trying to make music my full-time thing over this next year, and, things are looking up. But so I wasn't worried in that sense. And a lot of musicians that I've talked to, and I feel the same way, the shutdown was kind of like a blessing in disguise. And in terms of creativity, there's a lot of serious things about the shutdown that were not a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, a lot of songwriters were like, yeah, I was about to put out music, and then everything shut down, and they just spent some time reworking their songs or writing new material. And then once everything opened back up, they're like, man, I just, I've got such better material, or my songs are better now, and I just feel like I am starting from a better place now. So I kind of feel that way about my stuff.
And going back to your new song, most recent song, Right Where We Need to Be, man, what's the makeup as far as the message of the song that you're wanting to get across to people when they hear it?
So the message of the song is just kind of letting life take you. I mean, not trying to control things, because oftentimes in life, I know I do this. I don't know if everybody else does, but yeah, kind of create scenarios of how things could play out or how you want things to play out. And when it comes down to it, things go how they go. So this song, I mean, it kind of has a relationship spin on it with, no need to label things. If you're happy in a situation, just go with the flow and see where it takes you.
And with that mindset, I mean, that's important for anyone in any career to have that type of mindset. How do you keep yourself surrounded with like-minded people who have that drive, have that same kind of attitude towards life,
I mean, I do my best to impart that on the people that I surround myself. So I make sure that I am that person to other people. And, I definitely think my friend who talked me into moving down here, he's very much that way. He's very driven, very hard worker. So it's good to be around here. He was great to have to get me settled into the area and meet different people. And yeah, I don't know. I just think if you have that sort of mindset, that those energies kind of gravitate towards each other. So, you just kind of end up around people who have that same sort of feeling.
I like what you said, that you make sure you first had that type of mindset. That's important. Not too many people say that, because usually you always hear, surround yourself with good people, blah, 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 blah. But I like what you said there, that you are making sure you yourself are having that right attitude. Where did that come from? Did that come from your dad? Did that come from just, how did you know that was important, that you yourself had to be determined to better yourself?
I don't know, man. Just you live enough life to realize that it doesn't work trying to put the blame off on other people. So yeah, after you live for a while, you realize if you want to get anywhere or do anything, I mean, you're the only person that you can count on to get yourself there. So yeah, I mean, my dad's always been very, very supportive, my mom as well. Just I definitely feel like they imparted good morals and work ethic. So yeah, just coming to that realization through living, man.
And once again, talking to Gall, you as an artist, you got projects out, you doing things. Well, you're revamping a current project in Tennessee. You say you're going to re-record some parts and stuff. What's your next goal as far as an artist, as far as your music career? What some short-term goals that you're hoping to go after in the near future?
To starting with this song, Right Where We Need to Be, I'd like to make an EP off of that. So short-term goal within the next 6 months, I would say. I'd like to have 4 or 5 songs recorded and put that out as a little grouping of songs. Just a little acoustic vocal type thing. I personally think that my live performance kind of stands out. I've always liked the live performances I've done better than going into the studio and getting a fully produced thing. So I'd like to put, something like that together and move forward with that. And just spend some, invest a little bit on promoting that and building my own image as an artist, and move forward from there, see where that takes me.
And as you are seeing yourself accomplishing what you are accomplished already, what you had accomplished already, what motivates you the most as far as just being able to be that artist that's actually getting stuff out there and actually being recognized?
It's a good question. I would say, I don't know. I mean, I've always been motivated by music. When I'm not playing music, I'm listening to music. So I just try and stay grounded and keep listening to music and keep picking up the guitar. And, I can't even really, I don't even know my writing process. I mean, I just pick up the guitar and find something I like, and songs kind of just come together. So, I just feel grateful that I have these songs, and just staying grateful towards music in general, and being appreciative of the opportunity that I have to play music, and just living each day. I think if you try and end up on the right side of the day more often than not, then things kind of work themselves out.
And you mentioned that you say you listen to music. So is there a artist or a certain style of music that you kind of go towards whenever you're trying to be inspired with new sounds?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of get hooked on an artist and I'll listen to nothing but them for the most part, for months on end, and then I'll kind of switch it up. So I got a few right now. I've been listening to Lee Vollebeck, this guy out of Quebec, who is a singer-songwriter. He's kind of like acoustic. He plays piano, acoustic guitar. Singer-songwriter with like a slight like hip-hop vibe to him. Very good artist. And then another guy is an Irish singer-songwriter. I believe he's from Dublin. David Keenan. I've been really big on his stuff lately. His album, Beginner's Guide to Bravery, I've been listening to. So those two things have been on repeat for me. And other artists scattered in and out, but mostly those two guys.
Yeah, I always ask this sometimes to artists. If somebody were to hit you up in the next 24 hours and you can play anywhere in the world, where would you want to go and play, and why?
I would say Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. One, because that's one of my favorite places in the world is just Colorado. I got some friends out there, so I've had the chance to get out there and visit quite a bit. And so I love the area. I've seen one show there, and it was amazing. So I would say Red Rocks, though I haven't seen all the venues around the world. So maybe there's one or two out there that would top that. But for now, we'll go with that.
Well, once again, man, we've been talking to Max Gall. And man, how can people stay in touch with you on social media, man?
I'm most active on Instagram. I got a Facebook too, but I just kind of link everything I post to Instagram goes to Facebook. So if you follow me on Instagram at Max Gall Music, if you want to reach out, I do my best to get back to everybody who reaches out. So you can follow me on there. If you want to keep up with my music, I'm on all streaming platforms. You can check me out on Spotify, Apple Music. Just search Max Gall. I've got some live sessions up right now, and really happy with how those turned out. I recorded them just before I moved down here. So if you want to go check those out, you can do that.
Once again, True honor talking to Matt Gall. You can check out his music, like you said, on all major platforms, and you can follow him on Instagram. That's Matt Gall Music. And man, what would you like to say to the audience, man? What you have the floor.
I mean, I just appreciate you guys giving me the chance to share a little bit about my story, and I hope that the music that I write resonates with you, and I'd appreciate any feedback you got, whether you like it, don't like it, things you think I could do better, things you'd like to hear from me.
Well, we're going to have another interview then down the road, so that way we can talk about that EP that you're going to be working on. So
yeah, I'd love to come back.
Definitely, man. But once again, talking to Matt Gall here on I Am Refocused Radio. I want to say thank you for taking time in your busy schedule talking to us today.
No, thanks for having me.